So I have two really quick random things I wanted to talk about. The first is something interesting that happened recently. The US Treasury Department was hacked by China, who stole tons of documents which were considered unclassified, thankfully. The hackers compromised the third-party cybersecurity service and were able to access unclassified documents. Now, I'm sure we've already all heard this story, but it raises an interesting question. The government is banning TikTok based solely on claims from people in Congress that it could be potentially used against us by China to take our personal information. It's a privacy thing. It's a national security thing. Yet all of that is hypothetical, and there have not actually been evidence of any breaches. Plus, all of the data is stored in the US, mostly in Texas. So they're banning it entirely out of hypothetical potential threats to our security, they say. Yet not only have places like Facebook and Instagram already been hacked several times by the Chinese, but also we had that Cambridge Analytica crap a couple years ago where Facebook's data had all been given out. Like, it's already been massively breached several times. Yet they're banning TikTok on hypothetical bullshit. And while they're worried about hypothetical things happening with an app that haven't happened, the actual government was hacked by China. It seems if the Chinese want to hurt us by hacking us, they have better ways to do it than through this app. And they've already successfully done it. Hypocrisy, thy name is Congress. It's always funny to me how we see things like November 5th happen and the aftermath and the fallout that's happening, and yet, by and large, we see that people are sane. Millions upon millions of people voted against their own interests, yet when we look online and we look at the actual movements of people, people seem to be in the right frame of mind. So how did that all happen? One specific example that I have for you today, I of course have to kind of word in a certain way. They don't like you talking about other platforms. Ever since Alonia Muskrat took charge of the Bird app, and especially since November 5th, when since then this person has come out as the actual president-elect, and it's been found that he's just a massive right-wing Yahtzee who backs pro-apartheid accounts, claiming free speech and then banning anyone who says anything left-wing. As this article puts succinctly, there is a mass exodus from that platform by people who have not lost their minds. There are thousands of people every day who are leaving that platform. And you know where the majority of them are going. They're going where the skies are blue. And just a few days after November 5th, they were celebrating that they hit 10 million people. Well, as of today, they're now up to 21 million users. People are leaving the right-wing hellhole and going to where it's much more peaceful. It's not only a nicer platform full of better people, but it's also not run by a neo-Yahtzee. And while this is indeed less than a tenth of the total number of users that the Bird app had at its peak, everybody has to start somewhere. And I think we're going to see something similar happen once this app gets ultimately tanked, and we get Neptune as a replacement in a couple months. Let's hope that as we get these better platforms to go to that are not overly moderated by bullshit AI and not full of right-wing cultists, that we can continue to have positive, fruitful conversations on how to help millions of people in this country extricate their head from their butthole.
And a Happy New Year.